Calm down. Why are you so scared? It's just a plastic spider. But here's the thing. Your brain doesn't know that, does it? That's how phobias start. A tiny trigger becomes a massive danger signal in your brain. But why? Why do we react so irrationally? The drama queen of the brain, the story of the amygdala. At the core of phobias lies a small structure in the brain called the amygdala. The amygdala is the command center for fear and danger perception. The problem? The amygdala isn't logical or analytical. It only gives two commands: run or fight. Scientific fact: the amygdala becomes hyperactive, especially after experiencing a traumatic event. Once this alarm system is triggered, your brain keeps perceiving the same thing as a threat over and over again. So, your brain records an event and replays it repeatedly. But here's the kicker. Each time it replays the scene, it amplifies the fear. An inheritance from our ancestors. Let's go back in time to the cave era. Our ancestors lived in a world filled with snakes and spiders. If being afraid of a spider kept you alive, then that fear became a genetic advantage. But how necessary is that fear today? Yes, there's no spider in your office plotting to kill you, but your brain still says, watch out, this might be a predator. How common is this? Studies show that 75% of people feel uncomfortable around spiders. So you're not alone. And yes, you can overcome this fear. Traumas and learned fears. Trauma leaves a deep imprint on your brain. For example, if you were frightened by a dog as a child, your brain might log that as dog, danger. Even years later, erasing that association can be challenging. Scientific fact: during traumatic events, the brain's fear centers permanently log the emotions and circumstances. That's why phobia is often linked to traumatic experiences. The role of media and culture. Let's not forget Hollywood. Media has a knack for amplifying our fears. Clowns, completely harmless, yet movies have turned them into terrifying creatures. Now, when we see a clown, our brain screams, run! Scientific fact: psychological studies show that horror movies enhance fear responses, and these fears can embed deeply in the subconscious. So phobias aren't just biological, they're also a cultural legacy. The power of understanding your fears. As you can see, your fears have logical roots. But that doesn't mean you can't conquer them. Take this knowledge with you because in the next section, we'll guide you through overcoming your fears step by step. Meanwhile, drop a comment sharing your biggest fear. Who knows? Maybe we can tackle it together. Part 2, Overcoming Phobias, Reprogramming Your Brain. All right, now we know where your fear comes from, but can you get rid of it? The answer, yes. And it's easier than you think. Today, we'll explore how to reprogram your brain, step by step. But that doesn't mean diving headfirst into a scary situation. Gradual exposure therapy helps you overcome fear by introducing it in small doses. Afraid of spiders? Start by looking at a picture of one. Do this for a few days. Then, touch a plastic spider. Eventually, you might even find yourself ready to face a real one. Remember, small steps. Scientific fact: exposure therapy retrains the amygdala, reducing overreaction to fear triggers. This method teaches your brain this situation isn't dangerous. Over time, fear fades away. Reframe your thoughts. Our brain's fear response often doesn't match reality. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, helps reframe these thoughts. Say you're afraid of flying, your brain keeps saying, this plane is going to crash. CBT flips this narrative. Planes are one of the safest ways to travel. Safer than driving, actually. Scientific fact: CBT is highly effective for phobias like social anxiety, fear of flying, and fear of animals, with success rates exceeding 70%. Virtual reality therapy facing fears with tech. We live in a tech-savvy world, so why not use technology to conquer fears? Virtual reality, VR therapy, immerses you in a safe environment to face your fears. Scared of flying? Try a VR flight simulator. Afraid of heights? Walk a virtual skyscraper. It's all in a controlled virtual space. Scientific fact: VR therapy has proven highly effective for phobias like fear of flying and social anxiety, with an 85% success rate. Relaxation techniques take control in a moment of panic. What is the fastest way to take control in a panic? The answer is simple: breathe. This technique sends the following message to your brain: all clear. Your slowing breath stabilizes your heartbeat and reduces the panic response. Scientific fact: breathing techniques reduce the stress hormone cortisol and increase the feeling of relaxation. It is highly effective in moments of panic attacks. Ultimately, conquering your fears is a journey. But with the right methods, this journey becomes much easier than you think. Start with small steps, reprogram your brain, and remember, you are much stronger than your fears. In the next episode, we will talk about how you can make these methods a habit, because managing your fears means reclaiming your life. Manage your fears, change your life. Ultimately, your fears do not define you. They are just habits that your brain carries from the past, and habits can change. Take one step closer to your fears today, because when you manage your fears, doors open in your life that you can't imagine.